Thanks for checking out the channel today. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Today I'll be doing something a little different. In the start of the year, I'd planned to sort of expand the channel a little and get into some other toys, but I didn't think in a million years I would be back collecting He-Man. The Kevin Smith series came out a few months ago and kind of hit with a resounding thud. I won't get into all that, but what occurred in the first part of the series was upped in the second part of the series, and it just got a little too crazy for me. But Mattel had been putting out some really solid figures, and they got my attention, and I decided to take a look at a couple of them. I was pretty surprised. In person, I haven't reviewed any of these yet. And then recently, I picked up a 2-pack that I didn't expect to get either. What it came down to was I was going to avoid anything that was directly Smith series related, like reworks of the characters and stuff like that, but I would stick to the more classic figures, or at least what was classic in my eyes. So when they announced this 2-pack of Savage, He-Man, and Orko, I really didn't expect to get it because I didn't like the Savage He-Man storyline that they portrayed in the cartoon, and I really just wanted Orko. Well, probably like many of you, I went ahead and got the 2-pack just so I could get Orko and so I could review the figure overall. So that's what we'll be looking at today, and in the future I will start adding He-Man to the channel. I'll also dip into Thundercats and G.I. Joe. It's really a great time to be an 80s fan, so stick with me and I'll see what's inside the box. Alright, so here we have the figure outside of the box. First and foremost, he is tiny compared to what he looks like in the cartoon. Savage He-Man in the cartoon was Hulk-sized. Matter of fact, that's all he acted like was the Hulk. And this looks a lot like the other standard He-Man body that came before it. I have that figure, plan to review it, and in really looking at it, that's what I see. They might have done a new chest sculpt, especially forearms and lower legs, but overall looks basically the same. You do get a different kilt, and you do get a different head. But he was the same size as Skelly God, and if you're going to bring in the Skelly God figure, they're going to be way off. Like, they should be basically the same size, and we're not getting that here. They just reused the standard He-Man body with a few extra parts. That's about it. The paint job is okay. The plastic is obviously a human skin texture, but it has this brown wash over every little detail of it. Now, it does make the musculature pop, but it doesn't really bring anything else to the toy. As a matter of fact, on this left arm here, it's really, really heavy and just looks kind of nasty and not grungy at all. It just looks too much. Now, the face is actually pretty good. You don't get really any articulation because of the hair. I hate when they do toys like this and do nothing with the hair, and it just becomes a pain. So you really can't move his head that much. Now, you could force it maybe, but you don't really want to try that. Of course, all the standard articulation. He looks all right. But yeah, that's Savage He-Man, and it's not bad. It's just a reuse of the original body. He does come with 2 extra hands. He comes with a pair of open hands and 2 pair of gripping hands. Not too bad. He does come with a few accessories. He has a wooden spear here with a stone head to it, and some wrapping at the end. This is done pretty well. The colors are really great. The spearhead is nice and shiny. It's painted nicely. Moving on, he comes with a battle axe. I don't remember him using this as Savage He-Man. Maybe he does, and I missed it. It's basically one gray tone plastic with a a bronze handle, but they did manage to do some silver streaking through the blade of the axe, so pretty nice as well. And then of course he comes with his standard He-Man sword. The power sword is colored much like it is with the regular He-Man, with a silver blade, gray hilt, and some wrapping at the end. Overall, decent selection. But really what I was here for was Orko. Now they may release him on his own later on, maybe with some extra magical effects or something. But this is really the only way you can get him right now. We'll set He-Man aside here and focus on Orko. He comes with a neat little stand. I'm not sure if this is part of his body or not. It does look as though it's part of his body. It has like a little magical clear dome to it, and up under his skirt goes into his body on a couple joints is his stand, essentially. And this can actually move backwards and forwards, and it's pretty neat. You can even turn it so he can look different directions. Now the one thing I might complain about here is it does need to be a little tighter in the joints. It seems pretty loose, and see, that's what you get with loose joints on stuff like that. But minor complaint there. As far as Orko himself, you get a lot of articulation in the head, and you have some articulation in his shoulders, which isn't too bad. You can do a couple little magical poses here, but you don't want to push that articulation too much or it's going to give on you. Paint wise, he has a nice blue color. There's not much shading there, but it kind of shades itself with lighting. His hat's really well done. It's sort of a off brown with burgundy straps around it, and these little red pom-poms, so that's cool. His scarf here and the bandaging around his head is a nice straight color. Same with his skirt, dress, cloak, whatever you want to call it. If you take a real close look, his face is solid black, and the eyes seem like they're maybe decals or screen printing. I like that. I think I will have to get in here and see if I can do something about the joints in the stand, because as you can see, he's kind of tilting back and forth, and it's not really what I want from him. But it works, and I'm happy with that. Of course, Orko was one of several favorite characters on the original show, and he was fairly well portrayed in the new show. But hopefully you will give this figure a chance. Again, I would complain that he's a little undersized, but I mean, what are you going to do about it? I would personally like to see someone take a Skelly God, strip it down, repaint the body, switch out the heads maybe, or digitally sculpt a better head to fit that body and actually get them the same size, sort of like they were in the cartoon. But yeah, hopefully you'll stick around and see more 80s stuff on the channel here in the future. And hopefully you enjoyed this review, and you'll check out this figure when you get a chance. I was one of the lucky few to get it at Big Bad Toy Store, who seems to be the only one that has it in stock right now. Sold out, but just keep checking. I checked for several days, and it was actually in stock a couple times. Missed it once, got it the second time. But yeah, you may like this, especially if you like the series. So hopefully you'll check it out, and tell me what you think down in the comments. Thanks for sticking around.